Brazil's largest naval asset, the multi-purpose helicopter carrier NAM Atlântico, has entered one of the most important maintenance phases since it was transferred from the United Kingdom to Brazil in 2018. This development has drawn renewed attention across the South Atlantic because the ship is not only the flagship of the Brazilian Navy, but also the core of the country's ability to project power, respond to crises, and maintain a strategic presence across the vast maritime zone known as the Blue Amazon. As the vessel undergoes a full dry dock cycle during late 2024 and early 2025, it raises essential questions about Brazil's operational readiness, long-term naval planning, and the evolving maritime balance around Latin America's largest state. NAM Atlântico occupies a special place in Brazil's force structure. Originally commissioned as HMS Ocean in the Royal Navy, the vessel was designed as a helicopter carrier and landing platform for amphibious operations. When Brazil purchased it and reclassified it as a multi-purpose aircraft carrier, the country gained a platform capable of deploying helicopters, unmanned aerial vehicles, marines, heavy equipment, and command and control capabilities far beyond the range of most Latin American navies. Although it is not a traditional fixed-wing aircraft carrier with catapults or arresting gear, the ship functions as Brazil's only large deck vessel, giving it unique operational advantages. This makes the maintenance cycle that began in September 2024 especially critical. For as long as the ship remains out of service, Brazil temporarily loses a capability with no direct replacement. Understanding the strategic implications requires examining why the dry dock period is necessary. Large amphibious assault ships such as NAM Atlântico demand periodic, deep maintenance to ensure the integrity of their hull, propulsion systems, steering mechanisms, and onboard infrastructure. The ship is more than 25 years old, and even though it remains structurally sound, time inevitably stresses machinery, piping, propulsion shafts, and coatings that protect the hull against corrosion. The Brazilian Navy's decision to conduct a comprehensive hull inspection, replace aging components, and recalibrate critical systems is intended to extend the vessel's life well into the 2030s. This kind of structural baseline maintenance is not optional. Without it, the ship could experience sudden failures that would be far more costly or even disable it permanently. Seen in this light, the dry dock cycle represents not a setback, but a calculated investment in the Navy's future. However, the absence of Atlantico from operational duty does produce short-term capability gaps. The most significant impact falls on Brazil's amphibious and expeditionary forces. The ship normally acts as the primary platform for transporting a reinforced Marine battalion, armored vehicles, engineering units, and disaster response equipment across long distances. During natural disasters in São Paulo in 2023, for example, the vessel served simultaneously as a transport, field hospital, helicopter hub, and command node. While the Navy still operates the landing ship Bahia and other auxiliary vessels, none of them can replicate the scale, speed, or multi-role flexibility of Atlantico. This limitation reduces Brazil's ability to respond rapidly to crises in the Caribbean, along Africa's western coast, or across remote regions of its own maritime zone. The second major gap lies in helicopter operations. Atlantico's flight deck and hangar are large enough to support several H-225 Mallard naval helicopters simultaneously, enabling anti-submarine patrols, maritime surveillance, search and rescue missions, and troop insertion. Without the carrier, these missions must be distributed across smaller ships with limited deck space, or flown from land bases that may lie far from the operational area. In a region as vast as the South Atlantic, even modest reductions in aviation reach can translate into strategic disadvantages, particularly when protecting offshore platforms, countering smuggling routes, or monitoring foreign vessels. A third issue concerns command and control functions. Atlantico serves as a mobile headquarters with advanced communications, data links, and coordination centers. Its absence forces the Navy to rely on smaller ships or static shore facilities, which limits flexibility and complicates multi-ship operations. While this does not cripple the Navy, it introduces inefficiencies at a moment when Brazil is modernizing several other platforms, including the Riachuelo-class submarines and the Tamandaré-class frigates. When a fleet's flagship is unavailable, its ability to integrate these new assets cohesively is temporarily constrained. Nevertheless, the Brazilian Navy has taken steps to minimize disruption. The landing ship Bahia has been assigned increased responsibilities, and surface ships participating in patrol operations under PRONAPA have adjusted schedules and deployments. Training programs have also shifted focus. With the carrier temporarily inactive, crews are concentrating on simulator training, UAV integration trials, and the preparation of new communication systems that will eventually be installed on Atlantico upon its return to service. These interim measures cannot fully replace the ship, but they help preserve operational knowledge and ensure a smooth transition once the dry dock period concludes. Looking beyond the immediate situation, the maintenance cycle presents opportunities to enhance the ship's future value. Atlantico is expected to emerge from dry dock with upgraded systems that improve reliability and extend its service life. The Navy has already signaled interest in expanding the use of unmanned aerial vehicles from the carrier's deck. The large, unobstructed flight area is well suited for rotary wing drones, medium-altitude VTOL platforms, and intelligent surveillance payloads. As drone warfare becomes a defining feature of modern maritime security, integrating UAVs will significantly strengthen Brazil's maritime awareness. The carrier may also receive communications upgrades to improve interoperability with frigates, submarines, and shore-based command centers. Enhanced satellite links, new data processing equipment, and improved cyber defenses are likely to form part of the package. Another potential area is counter-drone technology. Brazil's emerging cooperation with international partners on counter-unmanned air systems suggests that soft kill and detection modules could eventually be fitted aboard. These additions would give the vessel better protection against the kind of drone threats now seen in the Red Sea, the Black Sea, and other contested waters. From a strategic perspective, the continuation of Atlantico's service into the next decade is important for three main reasons. First, it preserves Brazil's ability to operate as a blue water navy rather than a force limited to coastal tasks. Second, it enables Brazil to blend the new Tamandaré frigates, the Riachuelo submarines, and a growing inventory of H-225 IMF helicopters into a coherent fleet architecture. Third, it supports Brazil's diplomatic profile. The ability to deploy a large multi-purpose ship during humanitarian crises and multinational exercises reinforces the country's status as the leading maritime power in South America. Ultimately, the year 2025 will mark a transition point. If the maintenance cycle concludes smoothly, NAM Atlântico will re-enter service with extended lifespan and improved systems, ready to support Brazil's naval ambitions through the 2030s. If the refurbishment faces delays or unforeseen complications, the Navy may be forced to reconsider long-term alternatives, including the possibility of acquiring or developing a new amphibious assault ship or light carrier in the future. Either scenario underscores the same truth. The flagship's importance remains central to Brazil's maritime identity, and its readiness directly shapes the country's strategic posture across the South Atlantic.